Hey friends, I was channeling earlier and got quite through a few messages and a whole bunch of stuff came in. And anyway, some of the stuff is just like so obvious. I feel silly like repeating it, but you know, God told me that I gave you my memories so you could keep them safe and restore them to me. And when He told me that, I felt like He was talking to me and to a whole lot of us. But I also felt like that was a message from him to me for me to say to my husband, and a realization for me. So I have some memory issues and I have to rely on my husband's memory. And when my husband causes me not to trust him, it makes me doubt myself because I rely on him for things. And when I start to wonder whether I can rely on him, or I start to know that I can't rely on him, it scares me because it makes me less, I don't know, efficient or something like that. Anyways, I had a whole bunch of memories come back thanks to some chatting with my husband, realizing I need to start pulling details out of him to help restore my own memory. Because I think now I can retain most of it at least. Um, I wrote down that God wants us to like him not because he's the main character, but because, um, you know, he's a cool person because you actually like him as a being. Um, that's always been like my understanding and feeling. I mean, like if I was top dog, I wouldn't want to be liked because I'm top dog. And I mean, to me, I mean, like you wouldn't even be top dog unless you were like that. I mean, you could just like yourself a lot. I mean, I don't know. Stuff gets complicated when, you know, you start thinking through all the different variations. But, uh, anyways, I've always felt that, I mean, I can't tell you how much slack I've gotten from other people, including myself, worrying about other people giving me slack because, like, I totally use God's name in vain all the time. I curse at God, I flick him off all the damn time. I'm like, curse you. I get mad and angry, I get loving and all that other stuff too, or whatever. But, I just remember when I was a little kid imagining what, I would want things to be like if I were God. And, I just wanted to be friends with everybody, which means I would want them to treat me like a person and not put me up on a pedestal. At least not very high. Maybe like a little bit of a pedestal, especially now that I'm older and I realize how awesome I am. I'm like, you know what? I'll take a little bit of a pedestal, sure. Like, yeah, like, I don't know, 3 feet off the ground, maybe. I know that's a little high. But, uh, anyways. I really love all the, I already had plenty of like self love and stuff like that before getting spiritually woke, but like now I really like how, like, the more, the stronger my relationship with the divine or the universe or whatever these other things we're calling them or whatever, aliens for all I know, alien vampire popsicles. Yeah, those things. Anyways, the the stronger my relationship and like the more my trust grows and stuff like that, and the more I like resonate with like that frequency and stuff, like the more I grow in self-love. And it's a really beautiful and wonderful thing. It's like I felt like, I mean, like I really did feel like, to my own extent that I had like kind of peaked in terms of like feeling happiness and joy and everything, like before all the spiritual waking up stuff. And it's like I reached the top of like one um, mountain and thinking I had climbed, like, I don't know, the highest mountain, we'll just say for cheesy metaphor's sake. And then I realized that there was another mountain, and I was excited to see that there was another mountain because I wanted more of a challenge. It's like once you've been there and done that, like, what are you going to do next? Um, anyways, yeah, so I would think most sane people would agree that you want to be liked for who you are, not because you're incredibly awesome or in charge or because other people tell you that you should like so and so. Um, God told me I'm going to read what I wrote down. I've been getting messages all year that I'm his freaking heart, but he told me that I'm his ego and his heart. Parentheses, the new source. A few weeks ago, I felt like a egg hatched inside me and a new baby source was born. Um, something about completing a loop, coming back for like a second round or some shit like that. Anyways, I don't know what that means. I feel like that's mostly a personal thing for me, but there might be somebody else that might like resonate with that kind of a story or something. So there you go. And then I was told that like I'm the new source code, guys. I've been getting messages that there's something in my DNA or genome that can help some other people. And I don't, I really sincerely do not believe that my ego is so big that that's something my subconscious will believe. Like, I totally feel like that just has to be true because of all these other messages I've gotten, and because I just don't think that's somewhere that I would go. Plus, I mean, like, it's way too cheesy for me to say, but whatever. Anyway, so when he told me he has a new source code, I was like, source code for what? I didn't understand, because that's like source. Okay, okay, we're going the AI metaphor. Source code. All right, where, like the operating system or something like that, like the structure, the foundation. And I remember I was on the phone with my husband at the time, and I kept asking him, hey, poor guy, he's falling asleep because it's super late where he's at. And I'm asking him, like, hey, would you be okay with your source code being updated with mine? Like, it wouldn't change, like, the unique characteristics of you, but it would fix your foundation and some other stuff. And anyways, I feel like that's something I should follow up on another time. But yeah, so that was super interesting. One other thing I was kind of told up at the front or whatever was just talking about, the need to imagine what our perfect future is. And once we imagine what our perfect future is, to then start working on imagining what the past of that future would have needed to look like in order for us to get to that future. Something about like brainstorming that and thinking about that will help us or them help us get there. I'm kind of torn though, because like I really want to be surprised. I mean, maybe part of it's laziness too. I mean, it's not laziness, it's more like exhaustion. I've got so many other things to do, but there's part of me that wants to be surprised. It's like I want to be in control and I want to dictate what's going to happen, but I also want to be surprised. So really what I want to do is tell someone else that like I trust and I think is really good at like surprising me in ways that I like. I really would just want to tell them how I want things to be, and them to then make it like 10 times more awesome. Because yeah, that way I'm surprised and it exceeds expectations. Anyways, I don't know if that's how anything works, but I'm excited about that. I felt like I made some notes, I made some videos for myself to review later. Felt like I had a lot of growth tonight. Felt like I got some messages that might help some other people too. I feel like I'm finally starting to get messages that I feel comfortable sharing. So making good progress with this spiritual journey adventure. So, peace.